Oh, hello guys. So, today we are gonna review the whole goddamn Fast and Furious saga. What the fuck? The fuck's wrong with you?
Family.
So, let us begin where everything started, back in 2001. Fast and Furious. The plot follows Brian O'Connell, an undercover cop looking for a group of people that are making heists on trucks with DVD players. He focuses on the Toretto family, thinking they may have something to do with it, and by this his strategy is basically go eat the tuna sandwich on the Toretto family bar every fucking day, hoping Senpai Toretto notices him. Well, this dumbass plan incredibly goes right, because he starts getting beat up by Mia's boyfriend because he was having friendly chat with her every day. Mia is the bartender, by the way. And this finally gets Senpai Toretto's attention, but for like 5 minutes, and Toretto simply tells him to fuck off. With this rejection, he thinks of another strategy, and by this I mean go to the street race and race with Toretto in exchange for his respect. So with this, they race, Brian loses. Oh shit, it's the police. And Toretto is on foot, so he's fucked. Unless, very conveniently, Brian appears and saves him and gains enough respect from Toretto to him to offer Brian a beer with a forbidden name according to YouTube. And Brian gets it on with Mia that told her boyfriend to fuck off. After some shenanigans and character development, Brian finally discovers that Toretto is going to heist another truck filled with Blu-rays or some shit. Because
this is a 2000s, bitch.
Brian tells me he's a cop and that Toretto is in danger because the truck driver is a fan of Mad Max for some reason and has a shotgun to protect DVDs. Well, ignore that, this is what happens. Larry gets wrecked out of the road, Vince is basically trapped on a wire and dodging shotgun blasts. But wait, not everything is lost, because Mia and Brian spawned near the truck and basically saved Vince and gave Toretto time to save Lady and abandon the ice. But wait, they are in the middle of the fucking desert, away from everything, and Vince is with his arm all fucked up. And with this, Brian whips his phone from his pocket and calls the police saying that a guy is injured, and with it, it's revealed to Toretto that Brian is a cop, and Toretto makes this face. Some days pass and Brian appears on Diesel's house. He has a standoff with him, but a guy drives by in a bike and kills one of Toretto's family. And Brian and Diesel go after him, kill him, and after that they do a last race between each other, but Vin Diesel crashes his car because he's a dumbass. And since Toretto is being searched by the police, Brian gives him his car and since he owed him one. It's a very nice, quiet ending, if you know what I mean. Overall, I kinda like this movie. It starts the franchise okay, and I give it a 6.5 out of 10. It's nice, watch it. I personally didn't watch them because they aged really bad. But I know what happens in them, so that's what matters, right? So let's move on. This one has some really good parts, like the ice in the beginning and what follows, showing that Vin Diesel has the power of the Force or some shit. When he's around, the gravity is in his favor, but who cares, right? It's Fast and Furious, just ignore it. So after the ice, the crew splits because FBI is a thing. Toretto is told Letty is dead, and in the meanwhile, Brian is in the FBI, even though it makes no fucking sense because he committed crimes. But let's just ignore that. So Toretto needs money, so he goes to a guy called Braga, and so does Brian, and that needs random guys from the street to drive his drugs from Mexico to America for some reason, because the drug lord totally trusts every guy from the street. Well, fuck that. Just accept the fact Brian and Toretto are gonna race each other again. See who's going to be Braga's driver. After a bar scene and some other shit between Toretto and Brian, I just fucking fell asleep because the pacing of this movie is so goddamn boring. I woke up when I think they were going to Mexico, but then the cars explode, Toretto starts beating the fuck out of everyone, and then he and Brian get into a car which very conveniently had a considerable amount of drugs from Braga to get his attention, and Toretto arranges a meeting with the guy. Well, the meeting happens. Toretto figures out that that old man wasn't Braga. Big surprise, I know. Wonder Woman joins them and they start a chase after Braga. I fell asleep again for like 5 minutes. And I catch the chase at the end when Brian is getting beaten by one of Braga's henchmen. Toretto charges at the henchman and fucks up his car. And the police is coming and Brian tells Toretto to run. But Toretto says, nah man, I'm good. And gets 25 years in prison because he's a bit of a dumbass. But wait. What are these very suspicious cars on the sides of the bus? Oh, I see. It's a cliffhanger. My god. So, I give this movie a 6. I fell asleep during the fucking movie. So, just to start, this movie is when Fast and Furious really starts to get good, in my opinion. Because this movie forgets the underground racing stuff and starts really to focus on the ice part of the movies. And that decision made like the brand of the saga. And with that, enough lollygagging, let's get to the movie. The movie starts on the ending of the last one, when the crew hijacks the prison bus where Toretto was. Even though it was a muscle car stopping a bus, but to be honest, I'm not even gonna complain anymore. Because this scene looks awesome. Fast forward a bit, the crew gathers up on Brazil and to do a job with Vince, the guy that got his arm fucked up in the first movie. Says the job consists of robbing a car in a train in the middle of the desert in Brazil. Well, they go there with some other random dudes, and Vin Diesel notices something is up and tells Mia to steal the car they were looking for and get the fuck out. And after a brawl with the random dudes with Brian, they get in a car, and that was on the train, and send it into a lake to get captured by the Brazilian mob guys. And since FBI agents died on the train too, Vin Diesel's team is gonna be hunted down by Dwayne the Brick Johnson, and also brings Chris Hemsworth's wife along, even though she isn't even Brazilian, but who cares? He's the motherfucking Rock, he does what they want. Back to Diesel's crew, they have dismantled the car and found a chip that has the locations of the cash houses of the Brazilian mob. But to pull this off they needed nostalgic characters, aka people from previous movies that didn't have much relevancy. And this was very fucking intelligent, because a lot of character development happens throughout the movie, and that's very important. That's very important for the following movies. So, as the criminal mastermind that Vin Diesel is, he goes to one of the cash houses and burns the money so that the mob boss moves all the money to one place, and it works somehow. But the thing is, the money is in a fucking police station full of corrupt cops, because this is Brazil! So, after the crew made some plannings for the heist, Dwayne the Brick Johnson finds them and captures the whole crew. But they get ambushed, and then in a very dark moment, all of the Rock's squad just fucking dies. Well, that might bring some PTSD, but he survives because he's saved by Diesel's crew at the last second. And Elena joins them after a sudden death of a character, Vince. They start the heist and it's just so fucking awesome because the money safe is just dragged throughout the fucking city, and it's just pure chaos and destruction. And it's definitely one of the best scenes of the movie and one of the best in the saga. After this, they get to a bridge. The mob guy gets killed, and The Rock appears and says, "You have 24 hours to run." but the safe stays with him, stays with me. But what The Rock didn't know is that the safe had been switched by a empty one during the heist, and The Rock has been bamboozled, and everyone is in the crew is a millionaire. So I give this movie an 8.5 because it was just awesome. Go watch it. But wait, Letty is alive? Yeah, we'll see that in another video because this one is getting big as shit. So stay frosty for the rest of the saga on a video, maybe dropping after a random one. So with this, I'm out, guys.